Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called O Holy Mother Ganges. I remember the first time I saw you shining in the early morning sun, with your sparkling waters flowing on, reflecting the clouds and the sky. The trees touch with you, dance in the Himalayan breeze, while the peacocks call to sing. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Oh, Holy Mother Ganges, may I be free forever. Oh, sweet river Ganges, just as you uproot unbending trees in your swift current, take my pride and you away, away. May I be like the bamboo trees, bending in adoration and love. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Oh, Holy Mother Ganges, may I be free forever. For centuries the sannyasis with folded hands prayed in the moonlight on the silvery sands, while your cool waters swirled and surged over rocks, giving the hope and joy unknown. Carry me in your We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is April the 6th, 2018, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Tulsi Ramayana. This is series 2016, class number 99. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Nilambujasyamar Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Balakanda of Goswami Tulsi Ramayana, also called Ramcharitamanas. The Manasa lake of Rama's exploits. And presently, 240 verse as the reference point. Following the storyline, Sage Vishwamitra has brought Rama and Lakshmana with him in the assembly of King Janaka, where a great project has been presented that is known as Dhanush Yajna. Whoever will break or bend Lord Shiva's bow, he will marry Sita. This is the storyline. The real line, it is at every moment the same reality. Whoever will break the pull of the world process, bhavachap, the moment you broke it, who broke it? Rama. And who is going to marry Rama? Vivek Buddhi, the intuitive intellect. So Rama and Sita, there is nobody else. So everybody. So allow Rama and Sita to emerge from your personality. And when they emerge, you are immersed. Your little self vanishes forever. Keep that in view for profounder understanding. And that's the point that Tulsidas is bringing out in his poetic writing. So Rama and Lakshmana and Vishwamitra, they have presented themselves in this vast assembly where so many suitors, all desiring to marry Sita, all looking at their muscles, that what can that little bow do? They're going to break it. Planning for a very wonderful future. I'm tempted to say honeymoon. They're all planning. देखहि रूप महारण धीरा मनहु वीर रस धरे शरीरा डरे कुटिल नृप प्रभु ही निहारी, मनहु भयानक मूरति भारी. Prior to that, let me tell you another verse. राज समाज विराजत रूरे, उड़गन महु जनु जुग विधि पूरे. These two, Lakshmana and Rama, they began to shine in the assembly of all those who had congregated. And they were like moon, full moon shining, while all those are becoming little stars. जिनके रही भावना जैसी, प्रभु मूरति देखी तिन्ह देखी तैसी. Everyone looked at Rama, but how did they feel about Rama? What was their perception of Rama? That was dependent upon their bhavana, their feeling. And feeling is dependent upon their vasanas. And that's the reality which applies philosophically always. With both your eyes, what are you looking at? I'm joking, but it's all your senses. What do you perceive? First point, don't take it for granted whatever you are perceiving. Your senses are limited. And behind your senses, mind is operating. What is the mind? What is being grasped by your mind? And behind your mind is your intellect. So without going into too much detail, all that you are coming to feel, this is what I am perceiving, this is my reality. That reality is not the reality. Your reality is defined by your vasanas. Simpler illustration. If you have different colored glasses with different lens effects, and you put on those glasses, sit anywhere, everyone sees according to the glasses you are wearing. But if you forgot the idea that you are wearing the glasses, you say, this is the way the world is. And it doesn't require too much effort. Even from scientific point of view, without going into any spirituality. You are seated on the solid earth, but it's not so solid. It has a lot of liquid and gas inside and fire. It is not so steady. It is spacecraft moving in the vastness of space. The sky is not all empty. But to your perception, to everyone's perception, wonderful blue sky. So I will not go into too much detail. So everyone sees the truth, because the truth never runs away. All that you are experiencing, no matter whatever way it may appear to you, it may appear joyous, it may appear hellish, it may appear turbulent, whatever you call it. But you are seeing the Rama, nothing else. And also, put another way, it is Rama alone who is seeing, if at all. Rama alone exists. Now coming back to the storyline, देखहि रूप महारन धीरा, Manahu veer ras dhare sarira. All those people who had come there, suddenly they began to look at Rama, as if Rama snatched their eyes. That happens even with small little things. A beautiful peacock comes here. Immediately to steal all your eyes. His form was the embodiment, personification of absolute glory. As if heroic sentiment has incarnated in Rama. It's called Veera Rasa. If you want to go deeper meaning, two terms we use, Dheer, Veer, they are synonyms. There are 10 characteristics of dharma, and Rama is the embodiment of dharma. Rama, again, understand Rama is the absolute self. The absolute self is the source of all divine virtues, and divine virtues lead you to the absolute self. So allegorically, the divine Rama expresses in the form of 10 great characteristics of dharma. Dhiti kshama damasteyam shaucham indriya nigraha dhira vidya satyam akrodho dashakam dharma lakshanam. Dhriti, firmness. Kshama, forgiveness. Dhamma, control of senses. Asteya, non-stealing, implying not being greedy. Shaucham, purity, the body and mind. Indriya nigraha, control of senses. Dhira vidya satyam akrodho. Now comes this word dhi, dheer. Dheer refers to intellect, intellect's understanding. If intellect has become pure, truth begins to shine through your intellect. And this term is the highlight of dharma. The Rama is the embodiment of dheer term, di. Next point, vidya, knowledge, divine, paravidya. Satyam, truth. Akrodha, absence of anger. One virtue has been highlighted is that dhriti aspect, dhri aspect. And all these virtues are implied. That type of hero, whoever has these virtues, he is the real hero. Now you can match up with the strength of all the demoniac forces. Dare kutil nripa prabhu hi nihari, manahu bhayanak murati bhari. all those kings who were kutil. Kutil means crooked mind, who had perverted intellect. To them, Rama, Lakshmana, they didn't look any good at all. They were terrible. Terror personified. रहे असुर छल छोनिषज बेशा तिन्ह प्रभु प्रगट काल सम देखा. And there were demons disguised as kings. They looked at Rama, and Rama appeared to them as death personified. But people of the city of Janakpur, they saw Rama and Lakshmana as a source of immense joy. These people refer to those who are sattvic. Janakpuri, people of Janakpur. Janak himself was enlightened sage beyond body consciousness. They were called Videha. So all his people, they are sattvic people. They look at Rama as their near and dear, but not near and dear, nearest and dearest. नारी बिलो कहीं हरषिया निज निज रुचि अनुरूप जनु सोहत श्रृंगार धरि मूर्ति परम अनूप. Women of Janakpur, they also look at Rama and Lakshmana according to their taste, implying some find him extremely fascinating, the embodiment of love. Some find him beautiful child. Some find him is a wonderful friend. In other words, different sentiments, all these sentiments based on tender heart. Whenever we talk of women, it's not a sex differentiation. Tender-hearted people are looking at Rama with immense tenderness. And love rises to the state of climax, Shringara Ras. Shring refers to horn, the top of the head. When the rasa rises to the top, it becomes Shringar. Vidushadha Prabhu Viratamaya Disa Bahumukha Karapagalochana Shisha. Those who were Vidwans, expert in Vedic knowledge, they see cosmic form condensed in Rama. In allegorical writing, they see Rama having countless faces, countless hands, countless feet, countless eyes, countless heads, Virat form. It took time for Krishna to become Virat. In the Gita, I'm joking. But there, Rama appears, Lakshmana, Virat form. For those who had that type of Vedic culture. जनक जाति अवलो कहीं कैसे सजन सगे प्रिय लागहि जैसे. And all the relatives of King Janaka, his near and dear ones, they find Rama exceedingly dear, a part of their family. सहित विदेह बिलो कहीं रानी शिशु सब प्रीति न जानी जाति बकानी. King Janaka and the royal queens, they look at Rama and Lakshmana as if they were their children, young ones. Still the milky teeth have not broken. I'm joking. योगिन परम तत्वमय जहाँ भाषा शांत शुद्ध सम सहज प्रकाशा. Yogis who are highly advanced in meditation, samadhi, they behold supreme reality expressing through Rama and Lakshmana. Shant, absolute peace. Shuddh, absolute purity. Sama, absolute equanimity. And self-effulgence. All these great attributes are shining in Rama and Lakshmana. Another point, let me remind you. Great scriptures like Ramayana, when you study, develop a bhavana, feeling that this is happening right in front of you. It didn't happen somewhere, Treta Yuga, how long, don't count it's happening right in front of you. And Hanuman is seated somewhere in this satsang, who is thrilled and dancing. And all the gods are in their aerial cars. And when the story touches the minds of people, and different minds shimmer with joy. The shimmering comes because the flowers are dropping from the aerial cars, from the gods. Suman Vrishti. हरि भगतन देखे दो भ्राता इष्ट देव इव सब सुखदाता. Those who were great devotees, they find in Rama their Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata, you are initiated into mantra, your Ishta. And Ishta Devata implies turning your mind towards absolute self. Brahman is presented in the form of Ishta Devata. So whether your mantra is Shiva, Rama, Krishna, Saraswati, whomsoever, that your mantra becomes highlighted. But all aspects of God are with that particular mantra. So to a devotee, if Rama is Ishta, then Rama is highlighted. All others are also joined along with him. If Krishna, then Krishna becomes the highlighted. If Saraswati, then Saraswati becomes highlighted, and all, Vishnu, Shiva, etc., bow down to Saraswati. So that type of understanding must be there. Otherwise, people go on creating their problem in their mind. Which God will help me better? 1 year you loved Shiva. No, Rama. No, Krishna. No, Buddha. That's joking. So, Ishtadevata, as devotion to Ishtadevata becomes profound, then you view the entire world as expressions of Ishtadevata. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. The entire world is nothing but Sita and Rama creating their Leela. राम ही चितव भाए जही सिया सो सनेहु सुख नहीं कथनिया. But Sita ji, the way she is looking at Rama, that love, that joy with which Sita looks at Rama cannot be described. And it will be, you can understand it profoundly if you follow the mystical insight. Sita is not an ordinary personality. Sita is Viveka Buddhi, an inherent urge within you to realize God. That urge comes to the height in the form of Sita. No creature exists without Rama and Sita. Rama is the soul, and Sita is that type of mati, that type of buddhi or understanding that will allow Rama to attain his highest glory. God, the absolute self, has taken double role as Rama and as Sita. And there is no difference in their glories. Ura anubhavati na kahi sak ko, kavan prakar kahe ko kavi ko. This is a heart-based experience. People who have purified their heart, they can understand. Otherwise, it cannot be described. All people looked at Rama according to their different bhavanas, their different mental states. Verse number 242. Rajat Raja Samaj Mahu Koshal Raj Kishore Sundar Shyamal Gauratan Vishwabilochan Chor. These two, Rama and Lakshmana, they shine in the assembly of kings. Rama is with blue complexion. Lakshmana, fair like jasmine complexion. And their presence, as if steals away the eyes of all people. Allegorical way. In other words, there is nothing in the world compared to the glimpse of Rama and Lakshmana. Sahaja manohar murati dou, koti kama upama lagu sou. These two divine beings they enchant everyone's mind. If you describe their lovely appearance and try to describe it in terms of worldly concept, you may say Rama and Lakshmana are like millions of Cupid gods put together. But then Tulsidas says even that combination, that type of comparison is petty. Just like describing how effulgent is the sun. And it's like, oh, 1,000 bulbs, million electrical lights, trillion. And no matter what you say, compared to the sun, all this becomes little. Because karma-based beauty relates to the relative world. That is to say, a world where there is time, space, causation. A world that is constantly changing is not real. It's a world of Maya. Always remember that we have always talked to you about bhav pratyaya and pratyaya bhav. As long as projections of your mind exist, that in that world you talk about beauty and glory. That cannot compare with where the absolute reality shines, because all the projections of your mind subside. Always 2 points are given to you before you, pravritti and nivritti. Seeking your goal in the world of time and space. That world has all types of beauty and glory, but put them all together. The glory of attaining God realization goes far beyond. Rama and Lakshmana, they are symbolizing that nivritti state. Chitavani charu mara manuharani, bhavati hridaya jati nahi varani. The very look of Rama and Lakshmana The moment Rama looks anywhere, that's called Chitavan. The mind becomes completely blown away. Not only mind of ordinary people, even the mind of Cupid God himself is blown away. It's a simple experience. Tulsidas is pointing out that whatever you feel extremely dear to you, then your mouth becomes dumb. You can't describe it. However, Tulsidas ji goes ahead, describing Rama. Yes, beautiful cheeks. He's not cheeky. Implying he brings out wondrous teachings. He's the very source of all wisdom. And he has earrings. Those earrings dance along his earlobe. Lips are beautiful, tender. All this is created for devotees, for any devotional practice. Look at that your deity, your Ishta Devata, with all fascinating qualities. So you allow your mind to become deeply immersed. If it does, it's just like you put water over salt and salt melts. The mind itself melts. And the melting process is your success in meditation. कुमुद बंधु कर निंदक हासा भ्रिकुटि विकट मनोहर नासा भाल विशाल तिलक झलकाही कच बिलोकी अली अवली लजाही. Their smile and soft laughter excel the lustrous emanation from the moon. Their eyebrows, their nose, all these are wondrous. In their forehead, that's highlighted, a little rising forehead, is decked with tilak, a special kumkum, a special paste. And their hair has some strange curl on them. This swarms of black bees they feel defeated before the beauty of those curls. realize people listening to Ramayana, they were waiting for stories. I have stopped the stories. We are going to do all those. But all this that people generally let go fast contain lot of wisdom, lot of subtle point. And they are meant to give you a special type of rasa, taste. And that very listening and delighting in itself has done an act of sadhana on your part that you cannot imagine. Certain things go impress in your mind and you can't let it go. And their speech is very soft. Kumudha bandhu karaninda kahasa, bhrikuti vikat manohar nasa. Okay, that point we have finished. Peet chautani sirahi sunayi suhayi, kusum kali bich bich banayi, dekhe ruchir kambu kalagiwa, Janu Tribhuvan Shushama ki Siva. They have caps on their head. And the cap has 4 points in them. This is an old style cap with 4 pointed head. Chokoni topi. Topi with 4 angles. Those 4 angles are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. 4 purposes of life. And the topi, that their cap is also beautified by beautiful buds of flowers. Their neck is fashioned like conch. And has 3 beautiful lines in their throat. These beautiful 3 lines refer to 3 lokas: physical, subtle, causal. And the throat represents Vishuddhi chakra. If Kundalini goes beyond the throat, then all this world is transcended. So God keeps the whole world up to his throat level. They are summation of all the beauty of the 3 worlds and beyond. Kunjar mani kantha kalit, uranitu lasika mal, vrishab kandha ke hari thavani, balanidhi bahu vishal. Give you a little suspense. in their chest area, close to the heart. They are decked with Tulsi mala, mala made out of holy basil. And near the throat, Gajamukta. Gajamukta is out of elephant tusks. They create a special type of ornamentation. But that's ordinary meaning. Extraordinary meaning, Gaja, elephant, represents Ganesha. The Ganesha's presence that removes all obstacles. And Tulsi Devi abides as his mala. And their shoulders are like mighty bulls. Bull term is Vrishabha. Vrishabha term relates to dharma. The entire dharmic process is a Vrishabha bull that Shiva rides on. And they stand on their feet in such a way that look like lions. And their arms are long arms with tremendous strength. You are describing God in human terms. But though you are bringing human description of arms, feet, standing, etc., must understand that every description is leading your mind to something beyond all that is. Every description is blowing your mind away. If his throat didn't blow your mind away, then look at his feet. Katituni rapita patabadhe karasar dhanusha vama barakap kandhe pita jagya upavita suhaye Nakashika manju maha chavichaye. He has yellow cloth, pitambar. Yellow term relates to intuitive knowledge. That golden color is symbolic of Hiranyagarbha, cosmic mind. And he has in his waist quiver. That means that which contains lots of arrows. The whole device that contains all the arrows, that's there at his waist. In his hands, one hand has bow, another hand to his left side is a giant bow. Hand holds the arrow, shoulder holds the bow. And that's not all. In between you see yellow thread, yagyopavit. From the toenails to the top of the head, the entire form of Rama and Lakshmana is amazing beauty. देखी लोग सब भये सुखारे, एक टक लोचन चलत न तारे. All people, those who are not crooked, they were gentle-minded people. They saw Rama, Lakshmana, and they went on looking at them, ek tak. The winking stopped. हर्षे जनक देखि दो भाई, मुनिपद कमल गहे तब जाई. And King Janaka was extremely thrilled. He came to Vishwamitra, Sage Vishwamitra, and fell at his feet, touched his lotus feet. Kari vinati nij katha sunai, rang avani sab muni dekhai. Having offered his adorations, Janaka introduced himself to Vishwamitra, and then he showed this whole assembly, the whole setting that was created for Dhanush Yajna, bow sacrifice. And as he was showing, Rama and Lakshmana followed, and wherever they go, jaha jaha jahi kunwar bar do, taha taha chakit chitav sab ko, wherever they move, all their eyes move towards it. Nij nij rukh Rama hi sabu dekha, ko na jaan kachu maram bikekha. And to everyone, Rama was immense source of joy. But according to their view, everyone has a different way of looking at Rama. But no one could actually comprehend the reality, the real mystery of Rama and Lakshmana. भली रचना मुनि नृपसन कहेऊ, राजा मुदित महासुख लहेऊ. Sage Vishwamitra praised King Janaka and praised the way he had arranged this entire assembly hall. And the king Janaka was very pleased. Sab manchan se manch ek, sundar vishad vishal. Muni samet do bandhuta, baithare mahipal. Out of so many seats in different layers, one that was on the highest and most beautiful, there Janaka requested Vishwamitra to sit on that seat, and by his side, those two brothers, Rama and Lakshmana. And we can keep in suspense what happens. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We can have kumkum. Yeah, Ramayana.
We open the floor to questions and answers. If you have a question, please raise your hand and Jagadish will bring you the mic. Please be sure to speak into it loud and clear when you ask the question.
Pranam Guruji. I have two questions. The first question, can you explain the beauty of the mantra Sitaram? We grew up saying Sitaram, different regions.
Sita is same as when you say Shri, Shri Ram, or you can say Sita Ram. S and T, these are two Bijaksharas in the Sita. S term comes Sant or saintly. And Ta is Tat, the absolute self. This 2 points, developing saintliness that leads you to the absolute truth that comes in the mantra Sita. And Ram, R is the root letter for navel center. It awakens Kriya Shakti, all the energy that is active in the world. The ultimate purpose of all that energy movement, which is Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, all represented by R, Ra. And the M relates to entire Sahasrar Chakra, Amrit, nectar. So all the energy that operates leading to the ultimate culmination of absolute bliss, that's Ram. Sita Ram.
Thank you. Beautiful. Next question. He is always the example of a perfect man.
Who?
Ram, perfect man.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it so significant he take this form as a perfect man? The Puranas, there's like different stories that lead up to different scenarios. But we are always told to, as man and woman.
Maryada Purushottam.
Yeah.
Every avatara has a purpose. Why did Narsingha avatar came half man and half lion? Every avatara has a purpose. Rama avatara is highlighted by ideal conduct that every human being must adopt. Krishna avatara is highlighted for ruling out all conducts, transcending, coming to a state of ecstasy of love. They are not contradictory, one leads to the other. And Buddha's incarnation is bringing compassion. Compassion is highlighted. Rama, Krishna and Buddha, they go to form whole concept of the highest ideal. Be Maryada, develop all ideal conduct in your human personality. That's whole focus of Rama. In every relation, in every type of activity, bring a precise conduct that can be emulated by others. And when you come to Krishna level, in other words, while you are developing that ideal conduct in your daily life, your heart should not be limited by any type of restriction. At heart level, dance with Krishna. Don't think of how should I. If I think of invoking Krishna, where should I put myself? Should I be at his feet? or what? Don't worry. Put Krishna as a baby in your arms. There's no limit there. So that different aspects. See? One is a practical aspect in daily life where Rama gives you all the guidance. The feeling aspect, that Krishna gives you the inspiration. And then most practical aspect, how do you deal with people? All different, not only people, but all souls. Compassion, Buddha.
There's another question popped in my mind, sorry. So but it seems like it could appeal to the chakra system, the Manipur chakra, Anahata chakra, but where does Lord Buddha apply? Which, I mean, I'm not trying to put him in a system, but it seems to form. Sorry, side topic.
That, again, that's not necessary to match up with the chakras, but if you are matching it up, there's no harm. He applies, he's the Bodhi. Bodhi tree is the entire Sahasrara chakra.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Pranam Swamiji. Swamiji, you explained how everybody saw Rama as according to their bhavana. So, should we practice that in everyday life meditation, that everything that we see, every being is only Rama, so that eventually, even though mind is saying
But that's the purpose of describing all that, you see. That's the way you think of Rama. And when you think of Rama, then gradually you develop that idea, then ultimately you begin to bring in your daily life. Mm-hmm.
even though mind is sometimes resisting, it's
Mhm.
not true,
But
practice.
But it doesn't matter. Even like just like your house may have cockroaches and and still you go on working on your computer. You don't have to worry about it. Everything has to be perfect. Not, but doesn't matter.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Any more questions?